All right, I'm on the phone with head football coach Mark Shields, as we are every Monday and Thursday, even on holiday. And coach, no rest for the weary. Tell us about, well, first of all, you've been watching film, and now you have practice at 9:30 this morning.
Right. So got off the field Friday night, after a big win over Foxcroft, and Saturday convinced my wife to travel down to beautiful Winslow, Maine, to watch Winslow Belfast play.
How many flowers did that cost you?
It definitely took a lunch at least, and a lot of niceties. I'm making up words now, but yeah. She was a good sport about it. She went down. It was actually a nice ride down, and we went the coastal route on the way back and had some lunch. But I got her down there on Saturday. Sunday morning, 6 a.m. coaches meeting, and now here we are, 9:20 Monday morning, and we have practice. So, yeah, that's right. No rest for the wicked here.
All right, tell us about the game on Friday night. A huge win for MDI, and 20-20, and it got close. I mean, you were up 21-0 at the end of the first half, thinking, "Oh my gosh, we're going to coast to victory," and anything but.
Exactly, and reading your article, the next day or that night, the tale of two halves, and it was true. I mean, we came out of the gates, and the kids were really excited and fired up, and we had a first good drive, and unfortunately we did have a turnover, but then stopped them, got the ball back, and scored, and we did score quickly there in the second quarter. A couple scores right in a row, and because of turnovers by Foxcroft. But I told the kids at halftime, and they know it. It's like this Foxcroft program has a lot of pride and tradition, and they're not just going to lay down here in the second half. They're going to come out, with a mission, and sure enough, they did. Credit to them and their coaching staff. They came out, they played hard, they battled back. They had us on our heels for sure. And really a big play that might not ever be talked about, but was the fact that they had missed that extra point on their third score, and all of a sudden we felt like, wow, okay, we're still ahead, and it was a lift. I could see it in the kids' eyes that, okay, we are still winning this ball game, and sure enough, we came out, that big drive that we had late in the game, and, we were able to punch it in and, really executed that drive well. That was a gutsy drive by our kids, and, sort of sealed the deal. But yeah, I mean, it was a huge win for us this season. Anytime you face a quality program like Foxcroft and you can get a victory, especially coming out of the first game of the year, facing them was difficult, and very, very fortunate we came out on top in the end.
Foxcroft, they're not going to lose a lot of games during the rest of the season.
Absolutely not. No. I said before that game that I thought them and Winslow were the two top teams in the league, and you look at that game. I mean, they had 4 turnovers to our 1. They had a lot of penalties. They made a lot of mistakes that night that really helped us early on, and I just felt like our kids weathered the storm, and I quoted Rocky 5 at the end of the game. It's not how hard you hit, it's how hard you get hit and get back up, and I really felt like our kids did that. We could have easily tanked it when they scored their third score, and we were on our heels, but the kids responded, and I was really proud of them for that.
That's good. I thought you were going to quote Adrian, go, Adrian! So that's good. At least you had an inspirational quote.
Yeah, that probably would have been a little better, I guess.
I thought that Andrew Phelps showed real maturity as quarterback this game.
Yeah, definitely. I thought Andrew took a big step forward in this game. Showed a lot. He showed a lot of poise, and I thought he threw the ball really well, and and I'm starting to see him, evolve into one of our leaders. And as a quarterback, you really need to be a leader, and I think he's embracing that role. And kids look up to him. He's a good athlete anyway, but he's a smart kid, and he's a guy that sort of leads through example. He's not a big rah-rah kind of guy, but I've always thought that kids who lead through example probably are your best leaders, and we're starting to see that with him now.
Did you award a game ball, or are you going to award a game ball?
Yep, we haven't awarded it yet, but we are going to give it to Micah Hallett. Micah had just a great game on both sides of the ball. He started at linebacker, and really Micah traditionally has been a down tackle for us defensively, but we had to move him to middle linebacker after losing two real strong linebackers last year. And boy, he's really stepped up with that position and embraced it and had a great night. He had some big plays, trying to stop their two-headed monster for Foxcroft, number 1 and number 31, and he did a great job with that. And then offensively, he plays tackle traditionally, but we lost Drake James, our center, to a knee injury, and we had to move him over to center. And Micah has a bad right hand, and he's snapping the ball with his left hand. So
wow.
I mean, the kid, and he's still getting off the ball and making some great blocks. So he just had an enormous game, and he plays those positions that you don't see it in the newspaper the next day. But boy, when you're looking at tape, he was a big part of the victory for sure.
All right, let's talk a little bit about injuries. Drake James went off with a knee injury. How is he? And I believe there was another player that was helped off as well.
Right. So Drake, I don't know yet. The guys are starting to roll in now. I tried to message Drake this past weekend, but he didn't get back to me. I'm hoping that he's going to be okay, but he took a shot to the knee, and he was in a lot of pain. And then Ezra Johnson, he had a knee injury, and that one looked even more severe than Drake's, but we're not sure. But Dan Viber, our trainer, he's evaluating the guys, and Ezra's probably going to have an MRI. Drake, we're not sure about yet. I'll talk to him this morning and get a feel for where he's at. But yeah, that's really disappointing from a team standpoint, but more for the kids. They work so hard and they want to play and they play hard. And Ezra's a guy that's been with us this is his second year, still learning the game, and here he is, a two-way starter and the fastest kid on our roster. He's just a guy that can, defensively, he just runs people down from behind, and on special teams you see it all the time. And he was evolving as a real strong running back for us, so that's a big loss. And then Drake's a guy, two-way starter. He's playing center and defensive end for us. So a couple of guys would be tough to replace for sure.
All right, talk about special teams. I thought the special teams played very well. And Drew Rich, you talk about extra points, and I mean, at one point that was the difference in the game because he converted all four of his, and Foxcroft missed one.
Yep, definitely. And Drew, he started kicking for us last year, and early on this season he was a little inconsistent, and he worked hard at it, and by the end of the year he was right on. I mean, he didn't miss many, and sure enough, we've seen this season, the preseason, and now, now that first game against Foxcroft, and right, he was 4 for 4, and you're right. I mean, in close games, tough games like that, it's going to come down to a couple of points, and it could come down to extra points for sure. And we tried to kick a field goal, and it wasn't his fault. It
was just blocked. It was good.
Yeah, we didn't do a good enough job up front. We let their linebacker get through, and he disrupted the play. So that's something we got to definitely clean up on the line. But he's working real hard, and it's huge to have a guy that you can rely on for extra points.
I mean, that's even amazing. That's something that MDI normally doesn't even attempt as a field goal.
Yeah, I mean, normally we have gone, I mean, when you think about extra points, we a lot of times will go for 2 because we just feel like probably, percentage-wise, we're going to have a better chance of scoring if we go for 2 than kick it every time. And, now I feel like we'll probably be kicking a lot because he is so consistent. And, he's been so consistent in practice that, he was kicking 40 yards the other day in practice. So, I was like, hey, let's try to kick one here. It's a big time in the game. We're up 1 score. Let's try to get up 2. And, unfortunately we didn't execute the play, but we might try more of that this year.
Talk a little bit about the game you saw down in Winslow against Belfast. Winslow rolled over Belfast, but Belfast isn't a team that's going to lose 60-0 or 59-0, especially now, and you face them on Saturday night.
Right. So Belfast, they had a couple of injuries going into that game versus Winslow, and one was their best back. In my opinion, number 9. I'm not sure of his name, but he's definitely their fastest back. And he hurt his Achilles heel against Mount View, and I'm not sure if he'll be playing Saturday night or not. But they have some guys that their quarterback, 15. He's a real tough guy. They put him in shotgun, and he can throw and he can run. He runs real hard. He's a big, strong kid, and they got some big boys up front. And yeah, I think it was one of those things, and I've been there before, that it kind of snowballs on you. You get down there at Winslow, and you get down a few scores, and you kind of deflate a little bit, and then they start, get it going over there on the other sideline, and next thing you know, you're getting rolled, and it's hard to stop. But going down to Belfast Saturday night, it's their home opener. A lot of pride, a lot of tradition down there. I expect a real close ball game for sure.
All right, Coach, have a good week. We'll talk to you on Thursday. I know you got to get out onto the practice field, and just one today, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Oh, and actually, you have an extra day of practice because of the game on Saturday.
Right, which is really nice. I know sometimes the kids aren't excited about playing on Saturdays, but from a coaching standpoint, it's nice to have that extra day of prep. And so today we're going to get them in the weight room lifting. We're going to look at some film from our past game, and then look at some film on Belfast. And then we'll get them up on the field and do some walkthroughs. And then Tuesday, which is nice, we'll have all-day offense. Usually we split up offense and defense if it's a Friday night game, because you just don't have the time. But now we'll have a whole day of offense Tuesday, whole day of defense Wednesday, offense and defense Thursday, and then we'll do our pregame on Friday. So it does give us an extra day and to get some other kids some reps and really clean up some of the stuff we're trying to do.
Maybe get a kid back from little injuries here and there.
Yeah, definitely. It gives you an extra day of rest as well, which is really nice.
All right, Coach, we'll talk to you on Thursday. Have a good week.
All right, Chris. Thank you. All right, Chris.